What they don't tell you about soul contracts. What is up, Light Fam? It is David, your spiritual awakening coach, here to help you through your spiritual awakening. What they don't tell you about soul contracts. I'm also going to get into why they don't tell you these different misconceptions about soul contracts. But first, soul contracts 101. What is a soul contract? A soul contract is simply a pre-incarnation agreement that you make with another consciousness or another soul. So let's first explore the human side of soul contracts. A soul contract can be with a friend, a relative, a romantic interest, a boss at a job, or even an acquaintance. So let's say that you kind of get off of that life path that you had in life. You get off of the freeway, you're lost a little bit, and that acquaintance shows you that on-ramp to get back onto where you were trying to go. This can be metaphorically or quite literally. So soul contracts come in all shapes and sizes, but soul contracts can also be with animals. So you can have a soul contract with your pets. Soul contracts can also be with non-corporeal consciousnesses. So spirit guides, spirit animals. You can have a soul contract with your star family, corporeally or non-corporeally. Let's say that you have an ancestral guide, someone that you spent a previous life with, and this time they decided to stay behind the veil, and whatever lesson they learned in that previous life, they're now the expert in that. And so when you reach that point in your timeline where you're going through a little bit of a transition, they're going to show up at that point to help you, what they're now an expert on, to get you to the healing through or the transformation that you need to get to the next level. Some souls decide to stay behind and help from behind the veil. Some incarnate with you and help you in this actual physical life. A soul contract is really an agreement with another soul to illuminate a part of your reason for incarnating for this particular lifetime. You have a particular intention for this particular incarnation, and the agreement is that that other soul is going to illuminate something that's in alignment with the reason that you decided to incarnate, and you're going to do the same for that particular soul. So soul contracts are very much a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type of agreement. But what is one of the biggest misconceptions about soul contracts? What is it that they don't tell you about soul contracts? Soul contracts need to be completed. No, they don't. This is a misconception. Soul contracts do not need to be completed. This is one of the biggest misconceptions about soul contracts. And a little later on, I'm going to get into why they don't want you to know about this misconception. But firstly, it breaks my heart to see people stay in an abusive relationship and just grin and bear it because they believe that they're in some type of a soul contract that they have to see to completion. Absolutely not. This is just bypassing honoring your divinity by not setting boundaries and not getting out of that abusive relationship because you believe you're just supposed to endure the pain to see it through to completion just to see what that soul contract was all about. No, stop using soul contracts as an excuse to not let go of what no longer serves you because your ego believes it's a threat to survival to let that go. So we're just going to call it a soul contract so that we can hang on to that abusive safety blanket and stay in our comfort zone. No, your comfort zone is where your dreams go to die. You know what you truly want and you know what you truly deserve. So stop killing the life that your heart truly wants and let go of this concept that you have to complete some type of a soul contract that is sucking the joy out of your life. No, soul contracts are breakable. How to break a soul contract. Sit in meditation. Link with the other person's consciousness. Give thanks that their consciousness is aware of your connection or link with their higher self. See and feel that energetic cord between you two. And now you can make a declaration out loud. I now break this soul contract for our highest good. Remember to say our, not my highest good. Unity consciousness states that we say our highest good because that other person is also source having a physical experience. But I now break this soul contract for our highest good and I release you from my life with love. Love is a dominant frequency of source. I release you from my life with love, and you just see that energetic cord break and wither away. You feel it wither away. Feel an energetic space opening up in your life for a new relationship. Everything is energy. But be warned, once you break that soul contract, do not turn right back around and go watch some tarot video. Is he thinking about me? Is he not thinking about me? Is he leaving his karmic? Energy flows where attention goes, and you just create that link again. And the easiest way to not focus on the other person is to focus on yourself. Do the self-discovery. Get curious and excited about the new you. Envision what the new you would be like. Who is the new you? Well, could the new you be that person that knows their worth? Could the new you be the person that sets boundaries and vehemently defends those boundaries? Could the new you be someone that doesn't chase approval and validation? Could the new you be someone that uses their voice and stands up for themselves? It's literally that easy. There's nothing to complete, and there's nothing to pay off. Stop believing these false light channels with this karmic debt. Karmic debt is... There's nothing to pay off. Energy is not a credit card. Energy is not a student loan. It doesn't work that way. Think about how inefficient that would be. So before we incarnate into this life, you're having your conversation with this other person. Okay, so we're only going to complete 50% of the contract in this life. We're not going to meet in the third life, but then in the fourth life, we'll complete up to 80% of our soul contract. And then way over here in the 13th life, we're going to complete the whole soul contract. Does that make any sense? This is a universe of absolute intelligence and efficiency. That type of a system would be way too clunky and nonsensical to be a thing, okay? Especially when we consider the fact that all possibilities exist now. The future is just an illusion as well as the past. Everything exists now. So this concept of, paying off some type of a karmic debt, energy is not a car loan, people. It doesn't work that way. But this is why they don't want you to know that soul contracts are breakable, because if they can keep you obsessing over the other person, they keep you obsessing over their content, which makes them money, ad revenue, Patreon, private readings, products, affiliates, sponsorships. It hurts their pockets for you to know that soul contracts do not need to be completed and they are breakable. You don't need to obsess over the other person, which keeps you obsessing over their content and makes them money. This is why they don't want you to know that soul contracts are breakable, because as soon as you find your sovereignty, you no longer need them and they lose money. So remember, guys, soul contracts are breakable. Stop using them as excuses to not honor your divinity and your worth, and sink into your heart space and ask your heart which soul contracts are the healthy ones and which ones are the unhealthy ones. And then love yourself enough to let go of the unhealthy soul contracts. I love you guys. Namaste.